Netflix has really been doing it, man. They have been really hitting it out of the park. And this year, holy moly, did they produce a phenomenon. It's not only the talk of my household, it's the talk of a lot of circles about maybe best animated picture. People are talking about this movie like it's got that special thing. It really does. And I am blessed today because I have two of the stars from K-pop Demon Hunters. I have both Arden Cho and Mei Hong here today. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. My kids today.
Thank you for having
Oh my
us.
goodness.
We're so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. My kids today were like, it was as if, I mean, it was crazy. Like, you better ask everything. I said, give me a break.
You should have brought the kids.
So it's going to be all their questions.
No, I can't. Not all theirs.
No,
not all
we're
theirs,
ready. We're ready.
But a lot. But so let's start here because we were just talking before we went on air. Very good friend of mine is Greg Alba from The Real Rejects. He asked you guys a great question about like your favorite lyric from the song. And you both had a great answer about like just not only the lyric of the song, but it was about the things that happen to you in your life that we don't see. It's the audition process that we all go through. And as performers, and like, not even just as performers, like in general in our lives, there are things that happen that it's the bad stuff that makes the good even that better, right?
Right.
So let's start there. Let's start with both you guys. Yeah, let's start with the fact that like when you start, you have all these kind of down moments. What leads you to this project? Arden, we'll start with you.
Ooh, so many. Starting so deep. I
Yeah,
like
got
it.
to. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think so many people see the highlight reels. They see all the good stuff. But I 100%, I think now, at this point in my life, I might not have said this 10 years ago, but today I can say I think some of the lowest, hardest moments really have made that journey so special. And I feel like if I hadn't gone through those experiences, I don't think I would have done what I did today, if that makes sense.
100%.
And I feel like, yeah, so much of Rumi's journey and even what I brought to Rumi is a result of a lot of those difficult moments.
It shapes us.
Yeah.
You got to have those moments that you say, I say this all the time, like the worst part in your life, you don't know it's the worst part of your life because it leads you to so many good decisions. But I mean, did you kind of feel the same thing, like this kind of tough journey to get here?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, it feels less sort of the bad stuff is not just so career centric and more just everything, just being alive.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I feel like all of the things that always leads to the best things that you have presently.
Sure.
And then sometimes you shed that skin again and then you have another, version of yourself.
Right.
Come alive and new parts of your life unfold. And it really is just like a forever unfolding, like, mystery and beautiful thing.
It does because my 14-year-old I just mentioned, I tell her, I said, and I don't know, it's different ages for everybody. I said, I didn't really find out who I was until I was probably 19, 20, discover, to really.
Oh, you found that out fast. Okay, Mr. Mature.
But,
Dang.
But I meant more so of and I shouldn't say clear-cut definition of, but I was an awkward kid when I was, class clown, all that stuff, but I didn't have confidence. I didn't, all that. And it was when I was 19, 20, I started to go, oh, that's maybe who I could be. Maybe it's a better way to say it, is that I discovered the seed of ultimately who I feel I am today. So I do very much relate to both of what you're saying, both career, both life and everything, how it leads into that. So, and I loved how you said you bring it into Rumi and how you were able to do that. But jumping into K-pop and how special this is, I mentioned to you both beforehand, even in the intro, my daughters, kids in general, are really responding to this. Start here with you, May. When you know that these little girls, everybody is going to be dressing up now as your characters for Halloween. Did you expect this kind of thing when you got the job? Did you know it was going to be that good, that big?
No, and I also don't feel like I don't get excited by projects because it's like I'm, buying a lotto ticket or something.
Sure.
It really was just purely I read it and it felt so exciting personally for me that this was even going to be made. And, it really was just coming from a really genuine place of being excited to have the opportunity to play to be a part of it, you know? And so I couldn't have possibly known, but I did recently say that I'm going to start saying, yes, I knew, because I keep having to say no.
Sure. Right.
Like, oh, I knew as soon as I read the script that it was going to be amazing, like perfect and a global phenomenon.
Sure. But you knew it was going to be special.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to be special. That's the important thing, right? And I think it's the same thing as, look, as actors, performers, when you want to work up top, there's sometimes you just got to work. There's other times you're able to grab a hold of something, know it's going to be special, and then get lucky enough that not only is it special, I mean, this thing is now like, it's part of like pop culture now.
Yeah.
So, Arden, when you hear, again, when it comes to like, bringing it to the kids that are dressing up and the fact of what this has done as a pop culture phenomenon, do you pinch yourself still about this?
I mean, of course. How could we not? But it's interesting, kind of going back to what you said. You know, I don't think I really knew who I was till my 30s.
Okay.
And it wasn't until sort of this last decade of my career that I really started looking for things that felt like me, that felt honest, that felt like this is why I came into this business.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters was one of those projects that when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is something I want to do.
Sure.
I was doing it for me, right? Like, I don't know if you knew this, but after Partner Track was canceled, I pretty much took a year and a half off.
Okay.
And semi-retired, and I was like done. But then this was so exciting because I love animations. It's a Korean story. It's Korean leads. It's everything I dreamed of that I thought would never happen in this business during like my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, the whole seeing little girls, it's funny because I was happy just being like, I want that. I want that roomy hair. I want that roomy costume. I want all of that. And then it's like an extra treat having the world celebrate it with us. You know, seeing little girls dressed up as Rumi, Mira, and Zoe is just, oh my goodness, I wish I was 8 again. But who cares? I feel like I get to just enjoy it now.
Yeah,
and
you get to,
you know, I just got gifted a little Rumi Labubu, and it was just the cutest thing. It's like sitting on my countertop.
With the hair?
Yes, with the hair.
Oh, wow.
It is incredible. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take a photo and post it. I'll
you
send
should.
it to you. But
Yeah.
it's just like everything is so, I mean, how could we expect and believe this, you know?
Right.
We saw it and we knew it was great. But again, to see the efforts of all the cosplay, the extra art that's coming out. I mean, really so thankful to the artists and the animators for creating such a beautiful world and such phenomenal characters.
Yeah.
But again, to be able to voice them and bring it to life, like, I think this will always be something so special.
It's also just a gorgeous movie in general and how it looks. And not only with the emotion that comes with the characters, because I'll be honest, I didn't know when people were telling me about it, like, you got to check out K-pop Demon Hunters. And I'm like, what's that? And then
K-pop Demon Hunters, that's what it is.
Exactly what it sounds like.
Exactly. And I'm like, I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, what is that? And then the funny thing is, I heard it playing in my living room before I even started, and my kids had watched it twice before I even watched it.
And then they're educating you.
Well, my audience educated me on it. Like, what are you doing? You have to watch this. I said, okay, I'll watch it. And the second I watched it, it had very similar, you know, the animation, which I love, of like Beyond the Spider-Verse and that same. And I'm watching, I'm going, oh, we're doing this. And I'm like, okay. And then it starts, and it's so much fun. And it's not only, but it has got, you know, it has like that Charlie's Angels feel to it. It's got, there's just so much, and you can tell like the bond. And watching you guys on like the press tours and everything too, what's the bond been like from transferring over from both the characters and then having to, you know, these friendships and everything that I'm sure you're having with the cast? Like, what's up? You guys got to be like a family, I'm sure now.
Yeah, it's so nice. I'm having this thought, like, you know how if you have a best friend from high school and then they have a new best friend in college and then you meet and then it's like just by default you're also probably going to get along and be best friends? That's happened to me. And so it kind of felt like that, where if these people are as excited about this project as I am, if the common denominator is that we all wanted and that we all wanted to be part of this project, that we were excited to be part of this project, then we are going to get along. And also hilariously, you know, obviously they're besties on screen.
Yep.
It really, I don't know, I guess perfect casting and everything. It feels like we are, it's not like exactly the dynamic, but I feel like as a group, we really complement each other very well.
Well, you can tell within just like I mentioned, I was whether I was watching an interview with Greg or just watching the things you guys done. It's
shout out Greg.
Yeah, Greg, definitely always shout out Greg.
Yeah.
I want to tell you guys once again about strawberry.me. It's been so beneficial to me. It really is. It helps people move from just a job to fulfilling career by providing personalized coaching and a clear plan of action. It certainly was the case for me, just to hear my progression, things that I've done in my life, and hear what I could do, what I should focus on. It's been so helpful because you want to have a job, right? Everybody wants to have a job, but what you really need and you want is a career. It's not something that only provides income, but it's a sense of self-worth. It's a sense of accomplishment. If you feel stuck in your job and you want to level up your career, you really should check out strawberry.me. It's a coaching service. It's going to help you move up the ladder, negotiate better pay. You can land a job that you love in an industry that you're passionate about. You just take a quick quiz, and then strawberry.me is going to match you with a career coach who is best suited to help you achieve your goals. Certainly was the case for me. Sitting down, talking to someone, questions being asked, me answering in ways that I've never really thought about before. It's monumental. And you really have to take accountability for the choices and things that you've made in your life. And when you see those, it's easy for you to then say, oh, well, then I can level up by doing this. Because it's easy to put off important career moves without someone to keep you on track. And that's what strawberry.me does. Head on over to strawberry.me/Kristian to claim a special offer and get started. That's strawberry.me/Kristian. Stop selling. Start building the career you actually want. It will help you tremendously. What's crazy is that it's fall already. It's coming. And I got 2 kids. The back-to-school rush, it's already here. We're getting the early morning drop-offs, the after-school activities, the soccer games, and the last-minute supply runs. Don't forget about the extra trips for groceries, gas. The days get busier, and it all adds up. It adds up fast. Get that free Upside app. There's an easy way to earn real cash back every time you fill up your tank, grab a bite to eat, stop on essentials. Whether you're driving across town for the soccer games or picking up snacks for the school lunchbox, Upside helps you keep more in your pocket. In fact, Top Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. $1 billion. The free Upside app, it gets you cash back on daily essentials, whether it's gas, groceries, and dining. And yes, if you're asking, it's real cash back. There's no confusing rewards, points, credits, just money. And you can transfer it straight to your bank account. Next, claim an offer for what you're buying on Upside. Then pay, as usual, with a credit or debit card. Follow the steps in the app, get paid. So I'm using this. I heard about it, especially everything I mentioned with the soccer games, the back-to-school rush, all that's me. And since I learned about this thing, it has been so beneficial. It fits in so easy to my wife's schedule, to my schedule. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you can earn, you got to download the free Upside app. You got to use that promo code Kristian. You get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. An extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Using that promo code Kristian. I love hearing about stuff like this. I'm so happy that I have discovered Upside, and you will be too.
It just, you can see the bond there because you're all going through this together, and going back to that kind of journey that has been going on with this film, it absolutely crushes on streaming because we're in such a world now with how streaming numbers, we still don't really know how they work necessarily. We know that when Netflix says, hey, something's big, we go, yeah, everyone's talking about it, it's pretty big. But it's so big that they go, well, this music is so great too, and everybody's singing along to everything. We're putting this into the theaters. Did that shock you guys when you heard you getting a theatrical run?
I was very excited, and we were all caught off guard, but how perfect. Because I know that when we watched it in our premiere, I think all of us were like, wow, this is really something special in the theaters. It's big. But it's so cool that it's just as awesome on your home screen. It's just as great on a laptop, but it is something so special on the big screen. And even though at that point we'd all seen it more times than we can count, it was still really, really like magical.
Well, I'm sure with everybody singing along in the theater too, it probably felt like a concert.
The vibrancy
It
of
really
all of it
does.
deserves a really big screen. It does not everyone has, a home theater, and for people to be able to get together and sing together and watch it loud.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing, being able to hear the music on a system.
Oh yeah,
Of
and then
course,
seeing
yeah.
the art really on that big screen is just, oh my gosh, there's
magic.
so much detail. I feel
Yeah.
like every time I watch the movie, I still see something new.
That's cool.
And the artists and animators, they put so many little secrets in there, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me that tiger all day long.
Oh my gosh, Derpy! We all need a Derpy. I just want to fly and ride Derpy. I want like a real life Derpy.
Please, that second Derby showed up, I was like, that's my dude.
I want it.
That's my guy.
Yes, so much so. Yeah, so the theatrical, and I guess that's, as you said, you're not really expecting that because you're making it for Netflix. Okay, it's going to, and then great, we're one of the biggest movies ever on Netflix. That's awesome. Wait, we're going theatrical? Now, as I mentioned up top, and I don't mean, put you in an awkward spot because you deserve it. The movie's being highly praised to potentially get nominated for an Oscar to be Best Animated Picture. Right. So, I guess, and I know you guys have been getting that question of, did you expect it to be the big hit? And of course, and I think you both have answered
Yes.
it many times. Right.
Yeah.
Many times over. Of course.
That's
Yes.
the new answer.
Right. Yeah,
But-
absolutely we did. Next.
100%.
No, but I know that any project you get involved in, the Oscar side of it, I can't even imagine that was a fathom. I can't even imagine that was even like a little inkling. And now it could be.
Right. I mean, that was definitely not something we expected. And again, it's just one thing to put yourself out there, put art out there and
Yeah.
hope people like it. But then to have the world celebrate with you. And I feel like people want it for us more than we've even like registered or been hoping for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm realizing is that, wow, this is a golden moment for everyone,
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's something the world needed, something uplifting and fun and this like togetherness in a time that is sometimes disappointing,
That's very well said. You guys planning your outfits already? Be honest.
Oh my goodness, we're getting this question. We better start planning.
I have
Come
some
on.
things
You
in
got
mind.
My mind is not ready for this. I've just been busy filming, but now I'm like, wait, do I need to start like, looking?
Yes. As you said before,
Luckily,
yes,
I have
you
a
do.
good stylist who I'm sure
excited for that.
has all the ideas.
Well, good. Okay, so again, it moves really fast, like the success and the wave, like within seconds. Hey, we're number one here, we're number one here, we're a big movie here. And then you hear all the deals. There's going to be a sequel. There's going to be a third. They're going to do a live action. I guess we'll start. May, is that overwhelming at first? You're like, no, sign me up. Let's do it. I'm ready to go. Do you guys sign up immediately for sequels? Because sometimes it's not in a contract. Sometimes just we're doing a one-off if we don't know where it's going. Were you signed to sequels right away?
No.
Okay.
I am still waiting to hear waiting to be asked for my time.
Okay.
Spiritually, I'm there.
Yeah, right.
I'm very, very down, and I would be thrilled to see more.
Okay.
And yeah, it's one of the best jobs I've ever had.
I love that.
I really, really want to get back in there.
Same?
Yeah, same, of course.
Okay.
I mean, this world that has been created
Yeah.
of K-pop Demon Hunters is so magical, and there's so much more to be told. I know we've talked about this, but I want that prequel. I want that sequel. I want to see all of it. And so, look, if they call us, we're down, we're ready. I feel like the fans will riot. The children will riot. There's not more.
There has to. I say this because I was talking to your manager outside, and he knows that I am the type of person to say this. If they don't do it, and I love you, Marshall, morons. if they don't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would say it too. They know it. They have to.
I feel like it's so funny because we're also such fans of the movie, not just like of our work, but just all of it as a whole, right? Like we're sitting here being like, we're ready for like Huntrix and Saja Boys like albums, Like we're like, hey, do they have anything more coming? Like, can we get some records while we're waiting?
I think I think you just said it though. I don't even think that they were really prepared yet for it, like to hit at this level.
Right.
That's what it was. And so they're like, whoa. And now you got to jumpstart it and put it into like hyperdrive in order to really say, okay, let's get everything. And you don't want to ruin the quality of it because that's what made this movie so special. It was that it was just so damn good.
So good.
Yeah. So, but if we do go sequel, let's put our creative hats on and some fun. Now, would you want to see it in other countries also, or do we stay put?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
New question. Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Say, how about that?
Oh, man.
See?
Okay, I'm
Respect.
gonna say yes to that. But I still want to see more of Korea.
Sure.
I feel like Korea is so beautiful, and there's so much more that could be seen if they really dive in.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just
true.
feel like it was such a nice opening to Korea and introducing people to, the streets of Gangnam and a little bit of Jeju-do and like Namsan Tower and COEX and all these things. But I'm like, I want to see more.
Korea is absolutely like a character in the film.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite places. And exactly
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
when have we seen animated Korean food? I've never seen a bowl of like naengmyeon or like seolleongtang, galbitang look so good in my life.
I know.
Or like gakdugi,
Yeah.
like the like the side dishes
Yeah, it looks good.
glistening.
I heard the tourism has just skyrocketed
Oh,
as
for
a result
sure.
of the movie.
I'm sure it has. That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense, especially with everything with the music and everything with the way that the culture is portrayed. Absolutely, but I think that's maybe why you go when you're going to more movies to see where the characters could go. Is that I agree. I think that if I would like to see more of Koreans inside of part 2, but I'd also like to see where they go.
Yeah, like a world tour would be
Yeah.
pretty sick
A
for
world tour,
Huntrix, right?
Right.
I mean, they have
Maybe
that
they
jet.
have to. They do have
They
that
do,
jet.
right. They know.
Kind of the sickest jet I've ever seen. It flies
Yeah.
perfectly when broken in half.
It's great. It really is. So where do you see your characters going? Where would you like to? Because we know now that you guys don't know yet anything about it, so we're just kind of speculating and having fun. Where would you want to see Mira go?
I am really interested in her backstory. I'm interested in the problem child narrative. I want to see it. Often I feel like when I'm asked, I'm so curious about more prequel, content. But I'm just really curious what her family, what happened, really. And I also want to see her curious and soft side that she, when she's really trying to talk to Rumi and ask her questions about, just trying to understand what's going on.
Sure.
And I think I'm much more interested in like those sort of like values and personality traits being displayed. I don't really think so much about like where or how, but just more of it, more of that depth.
And how about for Rumi?
Yeah, I think for Rumi, I mean, I'm with May. I'd love to see more of that backstory and see how they became Huntrix. And, were they going to be demon hunters first or always singers first? I don't know. Like, I feel like there's so many questions. But then I also would love to see Rumi in her very confident era, not hiding her patterns and just seeing how much more she can do and how powerful she becomes. I feel like it's so cool. Like, I love that ending scene where you see them on the poster and she's proudly showing her patterns, and I feel like that's such a strong.
goosebumps.
I know because I think
was.
it's such a moment for. I mean, I know the world is hard for all humans and all people, but I feel like for women and girls in general, there is such tough beauty standards and tough, things that we go through with our bodies.
Yeah.
And I just think as a woman who's experienced all of that, to see her having that moment and with her girls, knowing that also that's something that is really tough to do on your own.
Right.
And sometimes people think, oh, this is just an internal struggle. This is just my identity or my insecurities. But then you realize even that can be overcome together. And like friends and family, community is so important. And I don't know, I just feel like Huntrix is going to be so much more powerful. Not that they weren't powerful enough, but
Yeah, but they've gone through it now. I mean, they've gone through it together.
Right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's the new
Lived.
device
Right.
for the sort of, how would we become fractured again? Or what would
my
be the
gosh.
threat,
There's
Yeah.
going to be more
And
heartbreak.
yeah.
There's got to be heartbreak. I mean,
It's always boys.
right? Abs.
Oh, abs will come back.
More abs.
I
More
feel
abs.
like they all must come back.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, they can't create a group like Saja Boys and have
I
them just
caught
vanish
those
like
abs
that.
apart.
I know, but
I know.
hello, they're demons, so maybe they're not really dead.
That's what I was going to say. You think we're going to get a return? Gotta get a return.
I mean, I hope so.
Gotta get a
I'm
return.
such a hopeless romantic too that I'm
Yeah.
still
That's
waiting for
hilarious.
Rumi and Jinu to kiss. I'm just waiting for
Same.
that kiss.
I was same. I'm pretty good at prediction sometimes, and I failed on that one.
I
Like,
remember
failed.
being in the booth and being like, kiss, kiss, and
Right.
now they kiss. And Maggie would be like,
No.
I love it. I love that they don't kiss.
Well, right,
I
exactly.
think it's better that they did.
Well, that's what makes the movie great, and this is why I would never be a director. I'd be like, no, they have to kiss.
Well, I
Fail.
it was that emotional roller coaster that it takes you through from the start to finish, right? As you mentioned, you're in the booth, you're watching these things, you're waiting. Were there things that you guys shot and scenes that were in it that got cut that you wish would have stayed in it?
Not that I wish would have stayed.
Okay.
There was definitely a lot of different things, a lot of different renditions,
Right.
but I think really watching the movie and seeing the finish, I'm so impressed. You know, the edit is perfect. The art is perfect. The direction, everything was exactly what it needed to be the phenomenon that it is. And I think, again, this is why I feel like a collaborative effort is so cool.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have thought of that. You know, there were so many different scenes and moments. And, you know, I know now the internet has heard all sorts of things, but it truly is something that sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
You know?
And as long as it also connects your characters in the right way and doesn't take away from your characters. And,
Right.
and I saw as I asked that, you immediately were like, no, everything. I feel like you share the same point of view.
Yeah, I do. I think I said this earlier too, but there were that healer Han scene where they're like,
Yeah.
probably the only thing that didn't make it that I remember doing is just different versions of that growl.
Okay.
More animal-like growls.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun.
But story-wise, everything is as it should be, and I don't remember anything that I feel like sad that, you know, didn't make it or something.
That's great. It's good to hear. It's also, again, showing the unity, but also showing the fact that it's just, how many times you've seen it, and you said you see new things with it and how it gets better and better and better
Always.
every time.
And I feel like I almost like that our directors really made it in a way that it wants you to like want more.
Yeah.
You know, it almost forces you to want more.
Yeah.
And you just get so attached to these characters. And, you know, I just feel like, again, just the perfect amount.
And they are going to do more stuff with it too. As I look at my notes here, they said that I guess that there were some shorts that they were attaching to. There's short films that potentially could be connected to the world. Have you guys heard any updates on the potential short films?
Well, so I did record something years ago, actually. It was over 2 years ago. I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
And I don't know when that comes out, but maybe that's it. I don't know.
All right. Is that two? Do I get two? I got two questions that haven't been asked so far. I got
That
two.
definitely hasn't been asked so
All right,
far.
I got
But
two
the
of them
thing
so
is,
far. So look
I
at this.
don't even know.
That's a record.
Right?
All right,
I mean,
that's a record.
yeah.
But no, I mean, that I haven't. It's like I feel like I hear from fans more. Like I feel like I hear the news from fans. I'm like, is that true? I don't know.
Isn't that crazy though? How much, like, especially because you guys have which is really cool. You have it's like your own fandom now, right? So, isn't it amazing how you can sometimes you can go down the rabbit hole and say, I'm really push back a little bit, but you can find out this information and things like, hey, wait a minute, I just read something. How come I didn't hear about that?
Yeah.
And you can kind of get on that. It's got to be helpful, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't. Often when people ask me questions, they're like, "Oh, is that happening?" I'm like, I'm really not trying to be mysterious right now. Like,
But you're so
I literally
mysterious.
don't know. I don't know anything. I'm not being a good actor about it. I just don't know.
You just don't know anything about it. Okay, but you did shoot. That's pretty cool though. That you shot that.
It was really cool. It's like a short film, but we'll see. I don't know if it's that.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like in the end of the day, so oftentimes we get asked questions, and us as actors, we get what's on the page, and we bring to life hopefully those characters. But we're always much later at a project, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your writers, your directors, your artists, they've been working on this for years and years and years. And there's so many different renditions. And I mean, even today, speaking with EJ, it's like she was on this project before they even had a script.
Yeah.
And so to experience that side, and then to kind of come in, and we did all of our voice acting without having heard our singing voices.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's like, I remember one of the toughest scenes was when Rumi breaks down on the rooftop. She's trying to sing. And at that point, I don't know what the song sounds like. So I'm just kind of saying words and breaking.
Oh, wow.
But it's so cool how it comes together.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, this works. But like, I don't know at that time, like what it's going to look like.
Sure.
And then everyone's like, oh, wow. I mean, did you know? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know anything. Right?
Wow.
And so it's really so interesting. I feel like, and I was telling May too, I didn't even learn till maybe a few months ago when I met a lot of the artists and animators over at Sony talking about how they were so excited when the three of us with Ji-young is busy filming right now, otherwise she'd be here. Mm-hmm. But when the three of us would do press together, they were like, it was so cool to see the three of you together because they had seen us all separately for so long, you know, creating and watching because, you know, they're watching all of our videos when we're doing our voiceover or they're like looking for things to see more of us, but then being like, you were the girls. And it was like crazy to see the girls in like life together, like real life together, like on the couch. And we're like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And nobody told us that.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you because when we earlier kind of started with the auditions leading towards getting this role and the past experiences leading to it, but the actual audition process and your personalities coming through these characters, like even talking to the both of you, I go, oh, I know why you were casting these roles. Immediately, of course. And you can see it. And I know this question probably has been asked a million times, but I want to know for myself. Plus, this is one of the ones my daughter really wanted to know. And like how true and how your personality do you see in both of your characters, and how much I know you got it a million times, but I would really like to know that because of the conversation we're having right now.
For sure,
I see it. I mean, I do. I see it coming out. So I'm just curious how you feel about that.
So much of myself.
Yeah,
it's like being given an opportunity to be in a situation that's not real, where I can be myself, but the words have been written, but the sentiment is so true to something that I would say or feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. I've mentioned before that I read for all three of them when I first auditioned, and even just in that moment, like instantly just reading Mira's sides, it was like, I mean, you know, like I can pitch up and try to be like Zoe, but I'm not gonna be Zoe. Sure. I'm never gonna be Zoe. And I love Zoe's character, and I was like, that would be so fun to do. But it's so me. Yeah. Mira is so, and it sounds like I'm just saying that, or it's just very, I don't know, it feels really magical in that way.
No, I mean, from talking to you earlier, and like before we were off air, we both grew up in Queens. And so like here, and as you were having this conversation, like the character is so genuine, right? And also can be very tough, but also heart of gold. And as I'm saying, I'm listening to you, and as we're getting to know each other, and at first you're like, yeah, I'm Flushing, and then I'm watching. I'm like, but then as the conversation's coming out, I'm like, oh, you can tell she's like there's that outgoing thing that is absolutely there, obviously right now. So is the same thing then when it comes to Rumi? Then you're like, oh, I really just can deliver myself, and yet bring forward this new character.
You know what's really interesting is I feel like while we've been doing press and talking about it and rethinking about all those moments, I feel like it's easier to say it now. I think before I kind of was like, oh no, like, I don't know. You know, it's hard to almost be like, yes, because in my mind, the animation is so much greater. Like Rumi is so awesome. And I think there's a part of me that's like, oh, I mean, so many of us made Rumi, right? We have EJ, our vocalists, we have, you know, our dancers, we have so many, like our artists. Like, I just feel like, you know, when fans run up to me and they say, how did you make Rumi's hair so perfect? I'm like, sweetheart, I had zero to do with that. And I want that luscious, perfect purple hair too. Right? But it's like, I can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
But then it's interesting because the more that I think about it, and actually just recently, only because I was doing a piece that was talking about how we prepared for Rumi, I went back and listened to my audition for actually Celine, and I did a voice note. And I was listening to it, and I go, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I remember when I did this voice note audition, I like pitched my voice real low, try to be very mature, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my Celine. And I was like, oh, that's Rumi. I was like, wait, now I get it, because that actually led to my callback for Rumi. And then when I went into Sony, and we did like 4 very big scenes, very different scenes from the film, and it was a pretty long session, but I remember leaving being like, oh wow, I know Rumi. Rumi's so much like me. Like, I'm not a global star and I'm not fighting demons, but I think in some way, like, the girl aspect of who she is felt like so much of who I am and how I feel about my friends and what I do. And sort of, in a way, like, even with my career, I felt like there were so many parallels. Even though I wasn't a K-pop star and I'm not a demon slayer, I think in a weird way, I don't know if it's because of like Teen Wolf and Kira and her sort of magical world, and then like, you know, June and Avatar The Last Airbender, like all these like worlds where now my fans have been like, hey, all of the girls could be friends. Like all your characters could be friends in an alternate universe. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I kind of see that.
Yeah.
And in a way, like I feel like I've been learning more about that too and being like, oh, that's so interesting. And then, you know, for so long I had so many friends being like, hey, in this scene, like, it really looks like you. Is that you? And I'm like, no. But then after meeting the artists and meeting the animators, then being like, oh no, we were watching you.
That's cool.
And I'm like, what?
That's cool, though.
You were? They're like, oh yeah. They're like, tell Mei and Ji-young, we know you guys so well. And I'm like, wait, I'm slightly...
They know me so well.
Yeah, like embarrassed, but also like, because, you know, we were saying that
raw.
when we're in the booth, it's a very big booth, by the way. And there's cameras set up and...
And you guys are all in there together?
No, all
you're
separate.
Not. You're all are
so
separate.
That's the thing. It's very like vulnerable and like naked experience.
Okay.
Because, you know, we're in there with no glam, no wardrobe, none of that stuff to make us feel like these K-pop stars. And so I know Mei talked about this too, but I would often, if I got embarrassed or if I felt like it was awkward, I'd like close my eyes and just pretend like I was by myself and just do my best to, you know, be in the moment and have fun with this. But it is really vulnerable.
Yeah, like someone's gonna see that. It's like everyone's seeing like the scrapped audition tape, like the take or something.
Now I'm glad I didn't really know so much, like what those references or how deeply they'd be watched. But then again, now I'm like, I'm so thankful because I feel like when fans comment like, wow, you guys are just like them, I'm like, oh, wait, we didn't like do anything. It was just sort of all kind of this world was built together. And it's so
I wouldn't say you didn't do anything. I mean, but I know what you mean, though. It wasn't just. It wasn't.
I meant like we just kind of like were in it.
I know exactly.
And I guess it's one of those things where, like, you know, in the beginning, I think I was trying so hard to like be this really cool pop star. I was trying so hard to, because Rumi, to me, I put her on such a pedestal. But, you know, there'd be times like in between takes when I'd be like, we'd taken a break and I would do or say something. And I remember our directors would be like, oh, wait, do it like that. Yeah. And I'm like what? And I'm like, oh no, that was weird. That's awkward. And they're like, no, do it like that.
That's probably what made it so, you know, like I think that when you're alone, you are able to kind of access, yes, of course you want sort of the chemistry between the characters, but I think there's something to being alone and being really absorbed in your own sort of feelings about things. And even, let's say, you know, you do a weird take and you feel kind of like awkward or weird, and that might really feed the delivery of the next version that is really vulnerable and really more raw than, you know, you expected it to even come out, I think.
And that comes back to everything we were talking about earlier, when with life experiences where you're like, oh, I don't know if that was the right choice. And then like that right choice, like no, the animators look at it and go, well, that's exactly the right choice. And they put it all together. And then that's ultimately what you think is maybe not the right choice is the perfect choice. So
totally.
And trying to be perfect, like trying to do a perfect thing, like, you know,
that's
it's like
what's
there
so
is no
funny.
such. Yeah. Oh, you are her.
But it's so funny because when I watched the movie, I literally cried from beginning to end when I watched the screener, and I watched with my fiance, and he was like, you like know this story so well, you know exactly what's happening, like why are we crying the whole way, like are you okay? And I think I was like, no, I'm not okay. It's like a mix of emotions. Sure. It's I love the movie, and also I'm so proud of all of us, and then also Rumi, like growing up through that movie, it felt so much like my experience of me growing up. And again, that whole like trying to be perfect thing, it's always going to be a part of me. I think I've felt that ever since I was a kid. I feel like I've had that same conversation she has with Celine, not in like a Demon Patterns way, but in a way of like, let's be the perfect daughter, the perfect girl, the perfect, you know, immigrant family. It's like, we've come here, we've sacrificed everything, like you have to go above and beyond, you know? And then even as an actor, we as Asian Americans have this, we almost like sign up to be sort of representation when we're not even like ready for it, right? Like sometimes people will ask, like, you know, what has that been like? Or thank you for being representation. But we're just like, you know, in the beginning, at least for me, I don't want to speak for you, May, but at least for me in the beginning, I just wanted to work. I wanted to be a part of telling stories. I wanted Asian Americans to be present and to be main characters in stories and not to be overlooked or just all of that. But then I didn't know what it meant to be representation, to be a role model. And then it's funny because then, you know, the career sort of kind of keeps going and that topic keeps coming up. But then you go, well, like how? Like you don't learn really how to do that. I'm just sharing my experiences along the way, sharing what's helped me. And then, you know, something like K-pop Demon Hunters, I know every single person involved that I've talked to had a similar purpose of, oh yeah, we wanted to tell this story. And I feel like that's a huge reason why it is successful because it was so important to all of us. I know all of us actors and even the singers, we've all had our different journeys of representation and identity and having our voices be heard. And in a way, who would have known this cute animation would be so freaking powerful.
So powerful. And
I think we're going to continue this. We're going to keep processing. We are still processing what it means to represent this kind of message for the world. And, you know, yes, our identities as Korean women, that is a huge part of it, but we don't necessarily talk about it in the movie. And I really love the universality of the message, first and foremost, about what it is to be human. And the message ultimately is self-abandonment is what's going to separate us, you know. And I think because of the way the characters are and the way that we become whole and how we come together is about just not knowing exactly the perfect way to do something or be someone. And it's just about accepting all these parts of ourselves. And that makes me feel better about press, honestly. Yeah. You know, like it helps me to think about how, this is just one moment and we're having a conversation today. Yeah. I might feel differently tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now. And that's also okay too. You know, and that's allowed me to relax into doing this kind of thing because it's not the most organic thing in the world. Sure. You know? And it feels really good. And I'm so glad that that's such a big part. That's what the movie is about. And I think that's something that we can all really think about more. That's what the world wants us to do, is to not trust our gut instincts. Right.
Well, you all did. Everybody on this team did. And that's why, like you said, it's why we're sitting here today. It's why you guys are, I think, far from done. You got New York Comic Con. I'm sure you're going to be doing stuff there, which people are going to lose their minds. But this is, again, first of all, thank you for being here today and talking about the film. It is absolutely a pleasure. The last thing before you guys go, and I know, like, last night was a big moment for the movie again. Yes. Jimmy Fallon. Platinum.
Let's go.
They ripped.
Wow. Oh my gosh, she was so good. I mean, it's like, I feel like we've been waiting for that moment. We've just been waiting, and I feel like it was so perfect. It was beautiful, and, you know, again, I feel like they say life imitates art. Art is imitating life. Like, it's all happening, and it's just, I feel like it's, in a weird way, just the beginning.
It was great. Where did you get a chance? Did you watch? You guys obviously both saw the clip. Did you?
Oh yeah.
You watched the whole thing and everything.
Yes.
So, and your thoughts on it when you saw the actual moment?
They are them.
Yeah.
You know, they are them. We are them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see, you know, two sides of the same coin for each character. Yeah. You know, like the speaking and the singing voices. They're so amazing. I want to hang out with them. That's what I want to do.
I love that you all had that moment.
I want all 6 of us to be together.
I know. Yeah. Like, we're going to, we have to. We will. When everyone's back together, there will be some moments. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the beauty of animation. It's so hard to do that in live action. Yeah. You know, we can't just like merge two humans to become one. But no, it's so cool. And I feel like I just can't wait to see them on more stages. I can't wait to see them perform again.
Talented.
Yeah. You all are. And thank you so much for, again, giving us the movie. Can't wait to see more. Can't wait to see potentially the shorts. Can't wait to see the sequels, the prequels, all of it. Thanks again, Arden. May, it's a real pleasure to have you. Guys, if you haven't already checked out K-pop Demon Hunters, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on.
Please go and check it out. You'll be hearing a lot more about it. If you're one of the few who hasn't watched it, go and check it out. You can watch my reaction of it when I watch it for the first time. That's on this channel too. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Hit that subscribe button. Show a little class, will you? All right. Thanks. Bye.